It's your ego there. You're not. Imagine parents, right? Imagine a parents raising their child from when they were young, taking them through school, providing for them until they get to the age of 16, only for them to be taken over a 4-digit number.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The Lebbie Podcast, best podcast in the area, no cap.
Let's go.
Guys, welcome back. You know what? I got to say, this is my favorite thing to do out of the skits, out of the vlogs, out of TikTok, out of every social media. You know, if they ban every social media, but they let me do this podcast, I'll be content.
It's the Lebbie Podcast.
I got to say, it's the best
Lebbie
podcast. Oh, guys, welcome back to the best podcast in the area.
You got to welcome the
I got to welcome
viewers,
back.
bro.
It's been a while. Man. I got to say, I missed it a lot, man. I missed this podcast. Like, I feel like it just, you know, every week how we get to do it on Wednesday, right? We film this on Wednesday, put it on Thursday. I feel like it's just a built-up week of everything bottled up with me, and I just let it out in this long form of communication of me just laying it out on a canvas.
It breaks the ice. It's just like
it breaks the ice, bro. It could just go any way. Like, we could start talking about, bro, anything. Well, the last 2 weeks, it was literally COVID. Oh, I don't even want to say that word.
Why are you mentioning it?
I seriously don't even...
I don't want to hear that word.
I don't want to hear that word. I'm so sick of that word.
Why are you mentioning it?
You know what? I took a week off social media last week, and I already said it on the mukbang, but we never got into it because I was too busy looking at the pizza, and I was like, bro, starving. This guy was starving as well. But the reason why I took that week off was literally because of all this COVID and all this negativity, and suddenly everyone's a conspiracy theorist, vaccine this, anti-vax.
It's toxic, bro. It's toxic.
It's so toxic.
Even the word COVID now, to me, is toxic.
It's toxic, bro. It's
toxic.
It's the
and
form
COVID,
of toxicity.
It should just become a definition of it. COVID,
bro,
toxic.
Bro,
it is toxic.
You know what? It's so funny because maybe inshallah, if we live that long, but in 20, 30 years from now, when we have kids and stuff, imagine they bring it up one day, they come home from school or something, and then they're like, Dad, what's COVID mean? And then all of a sudden you get all these flashbacks of like 2020 and 2021, and you're like,
yeah, like imagine they'll be learning about it in a history lesson or something.
They will be. I'm telling you, COVID for us is like, you know, when your parents talk about war. Like, Mum was talking about when she was in Lebanon and how her house got exploded and all this war and stuff. And she always talks about that. And then we'll probably be talking to our kids. We'll be like, our kids, oh, there was a time when going outside 5 kilometers of your house was illegal. Or going to the movies was illegal. Or going
you gotta wear a face mask.
Or you gotta wear a face mask 24/7.
They'll be like,
imagine telling your kids that. Like, they're gonna look at you like, bro, you're crazy. They're like, what the hell? But then they'll probably learn about it.
Or maybe it will still be like, maybe it'll be just part of everyday life wearing a mask.
Bro, don't say that.
Imagine that.
Don't say that.
What if...
Don't say that, bro. Imagine we have to walk out.
I'm telling you, it's not far from disbelief now because...
But it feels so natural. Like, when I leave the house, I'm always wearing my mask. And like the past week or so, I'm trying to do this thing where I do 10,000 steps at least every day. And alhamdulillah, you know, if I show you the last 3 days, I've actually hit 15K, 16K, and I'm exceeding the 10K.
Bro, it feels... Yeah.
And when I leave with the mask, bro, if I ever put it down or something, it just feels naked. It doesn't feel right. And I'm like, imagine when they lift... I was
about to say it feels illegal, but it is illegal.
It is illegal, bro. What are you talking about?
It is illegal.
But it feels but anyway, for that week off, I've got to tell you, although I got away from all that COVID toxicity and all this like bullshit that's going on, and everyone's a conspiracy theorist.
Sterile, yeah.
Like sterile, yeah. I got away from that, but I got to say it was one of the longest weeks of my life, bro.
It was.
Because I've been so infused in social media for the past year since I started TikTok and all this stuff. It just felt weird, eh? Like, we were watching... We watched... what did we do on that week off? Let's tell them what we did.
We watched
this Netflix series called Heist. And it's like a Netflix special. And you know those documentaries that they release here and there? This one, I got to say, was so interesting. Like, every night we were glued to the TV with Mum and Dad, and we're sitting there watching it.
Because like it's an episode. It's like each episode is a different heist.
It's a different story.
It's interesting. Each one's like it's unique in its own way.
Yeah, like it's not your typical bank robbery. It's like it's based on true stories, and it's like this guy, bro. One of them was this guy literally walked into an airport, and they were moving money in that airport. I don't know why they were moving the money. Was it like exchange or something? From overseas. They were bringing how much money were they bringing? $100 million.
Hundreds of millions.
$100 million unattended with no guns. They didn't have guns, no security. Just in a hangar, in an airport hangar.
if someone tries to rob you, you just have to stand there. You can't.
Bro, the guy was crazy. He knew a guy that worked on the inside, and the guy told him, we literally don't have guns or anything. All you can do, walk in, pick up the bags, leave, and just that's it. You're away with $100 million.
That's it, you're gone.
They never picked up $100 million, but they got $7 million, and they had like this big plan where there was a guy that watches, there was a guy that was...
No, don't spoil it, but...
I'm not going to spoil it. But in the end, they got caught. Like in each episode, they show you how they got caught, but these guys almost got away with it. It's like, how far do they think? Like, the guy was literally sitting there and he was watching FBI. He was watching FBI shows like CSI and stuff.
He was learning
just to learn what they do. Do you ever think
crazy.
of that? Or is that crazy? Do you ever think, like, how would you get away with murder? I know this sounds fucked up.
No, it did get to the point, as we were watching the heist, like 2 episodes in, I'd be like, why didn't he do that? Like,
you sound crazy.
I'll tell him, why didn't he burn the van? Because the guy last episode got caught because he didn't burn it.
We sounded so crazy because we started talking to each other. We're like, oh, what would you do? Oh, you know what? I would have burnt the van and I would have done this and I would have done that. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have left my bandana. And bro, we started thinking, and we're like, and then sometimes, like, I think to myself, this might sound so creepy and fucked up, but sometimes I think, like, how, like, you would get away with murder if you do this or if you do that, which is pretty fucked.
Imagine the day of, like, that always, like, each heist episode, I was like, bro, how do they do it? Like, the day of the heist.
Yeah.
How do you not lose your shit? Like, today you could die. Today you just could go to prison.
You could go to prison for the rest of your life. Like, obviously, they talk about it. They say they're so nervous. It's not like doing an exam. It's not like, doing... No,
it's literally throwing your life away.
It's throwing your life away. Like, if this goes wrong, you're throwing your life away. And that's what's crazy. That's why we were so, like, freaking, like, infatuated and, like, so interested in these shows. And that's pretty much what we did for the last week. And I'm going to tell you, it was
you've always been high on, like, crime shows.
I'm big on crime shows.
You love crime shows.
True crime shows is my middle name. I've got to tell you, true crime shows... Don't even get me started.
I hate the cold case ones though, when they don't solve it. Cause
like, you want it to be solved. Like, you want to see, like, I'm always interested, and then I search them up after the thing. I search them up. It's like, if the guy got life in prison, I'm like, oh, is he still alive? Or if the guy was meant to be executed, oh, is he still alive?
It's the first.
I get so interested.
First thing you do after watching something is based on true
you
story.
just search them up, and you search up the true story, and you want to see how true the story is compared.
It's crazy. Like, it just makes something more interesting when as soon as they mention it's a true story, it just captivates you even more. It
just changes the whole. It just changes the whole vibe.
That's me.
I pretty much the reason why I don't watch a lot of movies. Look, I don't watch a lot of movies and I don't watch a lot of shows. It's because I only like stuff that's based on real life. Am I crazy or is there like? Do you guys agree with me? Like, do you only watch shows that are based on true stories? Because in the back of your mind, if they're based on true stories, you're like, wow, that actually happened. It seems so fucked up.
In a way, I agree. Like, it's some shows.
It's so much better.
It's so much better. But then there's some obviously fiction movies, like for example, superhero movies and that.
Yeah, but I'm not big on superhero movies. I don't like the Avengers.
I'm not. But
I don't like the Avengers.
People are big fans of it. Like,
bro, I don't know how.
Once there was a guy, he's like to me, he's telling me Marvel, DC. I'm like, I think I said, isn't Superman DC or something? I don't know if he's DC, but I said something wrong.
If you get it wrong, they look at you like
bro,
you're some crazy
fucking
cunt.
What? You go, bro, he went crazy. I was like, oh, what? Sorry. I didn't know he's Marvel or whatever it was.
You don't know the 5th Harry Potter?
The Harry Potter.
You don't know Star Wars Part 2, brother? I don't know
Harry Potter fans are the most loyal fans of it.
They are so die-hard. Like, if you say anything bad about Harry Potter... Wallah, they look at you like you're an outsider. They look at you like you're not even human.
Yeah.
They're like, what the...
They love to make references.
Bro, if you tell someone that you haven't watched Harry Potter, they will literally force you to watch Harry Potter. They'll say, oh, you're going to watch Harry Potter. You're going to watch Harry Potter.
They'll force you to watch it. It's like their personality trait. I watched Harry Potter.
I watched Harry Potter.
I read Harry Potter. And if you read it...
And then they start telling you, and then they start telling you, go do this quiz. Oh, are you in Gryffindor? Are you a Hufflepuff? Brother, I'm Mahmoud from the area. I'm a Lebo. I'm not a Hufflepuff. You're not Gryffindor? I'm not Gryffindor.
You're not Gryffindor?
I'm not Slytherin.
It's like Bloods and Crips.
I'm not Slytherin.
It's like Bloods and Crips. It's like Slytherin is like the Bloods, for example.
Yeah, I don't like even like anime. Like I know that I have mates that are into anime and stuff. I don't get the fuss about anime, like cartoons and I don't know. Maybe I'm boring. Maybe it's us.
Yeah,
it's us.
There's like famous people that are deep into it. Like there's a UFC fighter, Adesanya. He makes
references is always into the Matrix. He's always like, anime. And I'm just like, bro, I just want to watch true crime shows and I like movies. You know what movies I like? I like movies that are based on real life people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Wolf of Wall Street, for example. That was a crazy movie But it was based on a true story, so it makes you think when you're watching it, like, what the
Yeah,
how the
like,
fuck did this actually
He
happen?
really done this? It's like
He
that.
really done this. He really like
it's-
sank a yacht, or he really done like it's crazy.
Yeah. Although I do like some fiction movies, don't get me wrong, but true
the
story
real-
just makes
the
it
true
better.
story movies makes it so much better.
It just
Like,
edges
you
it for
think,
me.
fuck, you know, how was this based on real life?
Especially like crime. The crime genre is like
Bro, crazy. But anyway, like the past few days as well, I want to talk about this.
went off a tangent a bit.
Yeah, the past few days, I gotta say the weather has been amazing, bro. Every night,
It has.
like,
Bro.
like it felt like summer night. Like yesterday, I walked to Woolies, my local Woolies, and I walked with shorts. I went with shorts, all right. I walked out and I'm like, bro, I went with mum, and then I'm like, mum, wallah, it feels like summer.
No, it was.
It actually
was hot.
felt like summer. Like it was such a summer night, and I'm like, fuck, I missed this.
It gets you cut because you can't go anywhere. You can't go Brighton where.
But you know what it made me
Lebos.
think? Bro, you know what? I actually missed Brighton. Like,
Me too.
I'll stoop that low.
The beach in general. Like I miss it.
Yeah, beach in general, but I'll stoop that low and say I actually miss Brighton. Even though I miss the AMGs going down Bay Street
Hang on, why do I
when
look
you're
short on
eating
the camera?
dessert.
Let me lift the
There's
chair.
that one restaurant in Brighton when you're eating dessert.
Yeah.
You can't get away from the sounds of the AMGs or the
Yeah,
motorbikes.
yeah.
The motorbikes.
Bro, that strip.
Wallah,
that,
you'll be having your waffles.
What's it called? Grand Parade?
Grand Parade.
That
You'll be
strip.
having your waffles. And you're like, bro, what the?
And apparently there's a hangout spot for motorbikes and stuff. Like,
It's always the motorbikes. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah, you know,
I
there's-
actually miss that. Like, I don't miss it, but because of lockdown, I might be going insane, but I actually miss the Brighton Sands fucking loudness.
You know what I've noticed? I haven't heard the fireworks much.
I still have. I've actually heard a few.
Really?
Wallah, I've heard a few. How the fuck are they still doing?
I haven't.
Bro,
heard
ask
much.
dad. Hello, dad's inside. But if you ask dad, if we get him on the point, if you ask dad, and he's probably watching this on his TV with mum when we release it, Dad, how much fireworks have you heard? Like, there's so
It's
many
like
fireworks.
lockdown,
Bro,
Fireworks.
they don't care about lockdown. Wallah, there's fireworks.
Nah,
Well, how are they? I thought that's the one thing that I was happy about in lockdown, but they still do fireworks.
they still do.
How are they still doing fireworks?
But
I don't get it.
But the cars, you don't hear much. You don't hear like much of them.
Not much, yeah. The cars have cut
Not
down
as
a bit,
much.
but the fireworks, bro. Wallah, it's like these people
But
are
there's
like,
helicopters.
let's still do fireworks. What are you celebrating? Wahiyat Allah in lockdown. What are you celebrating? We're stuck in the house.
It's like, woo! Another day of lockdown. Woo! Like, let's do fireworks.
What the fuck are they celebrating, bro?
I don't know. I don't know. What do you
It's
What do
lockdown.
you celebrate right now? Like,
It's tough, man. Like, you know, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I looked and I was like, imagine, because it was the summer night felt so good. I'm like, imagine the lockdown was in peak summer.
well,
Imagine
it could
the
be.
Bro, it could at this
It
rate.
could still be.
At this rate,
I'm
it could
predicting.
go to December.
I hate talking about this topic, but I predict it'll go on to like December or something. But
To
anyway,
be honest, if that's the case,
let's not get people depressed that are listening
that's
to the
the case.
podcast. I hope not. I hope not. Please.
yeah.
Not. Anyway,
What else have you done?
well, nothing much. I've just been work.
You know what? I saw a guy. I was walking the other day, yesterday, and then I saw a guy. Because I wear my mask, yeah. But then when I start running, I still have my mask, but I put it down because fuck that, I'm not running with a mask. I saw a guy while I was walking.
Yeah.
The bloke was running. Not only was he running with a mask. He had his mask on, not like down here. He had his mask on. Wallah, he had his mask on while he was running.
You know,
And I'm
I
like,
went
what
to.
kind of psychopath?
Bro, it's-
What kind of psychopath does that make you if you're actually running with a mask on? Bro, I tried it. You know what? I looked at him and I'm like,
bro, you can't even sit with a mask. How
I
can you
can't
run?
even walk with a mask.
I can't even sit
Bro,
with a mask. I
put it on.
suffocate. How
Listen
are you
to
going to
this.
run?
I put my mask on and I'm like, you know what? How hard can it be? I go, maybe it's good. Maybe I'll toughen myself up. I'll improve my cardio if I wear the mask somehow. I don't even know if that fucking makes sense.
I don't know how
but
that
I'm
works.
like, I'll improve my cardio and I'll run with a mask to see how hard it is. I swear to you, I put that mask
Bro,
on.
that's-
I ran. It wouldn't have been 100 meters, bro. 100 to about 150 meters, and I was gassed. I had an asthma attack, and I don't even have asthma. I had an asthma attack, and I don't even have asthma.
Bro, I went to run today. I'm like, Mum, I'm just gonna run right now because I haven't been exercising much. But I'm like, I
You
want to
went
go
for a
run.
3K. I saw you today. You went for a 3K.
I went for a 3K run, which is like it's not as much as before lockdown. I used to get to about 4 to 5 kilometers, but you know, man's got rusty. So
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go for a run. She goes, take your mask. I'm like, what? No, she goes, wear your mask.
No, Mum was telling me to wear the mask when I'm running. I'm like, Mum, what do you mean? No one's
Bro,
running with
how
a
am I
mask.
gonna- and I-
except that guy that
I saw a cop when I was running on the way. And I looked at him like, what?
But you didn't have a mask.
No, because I'm running.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
If I'm walking,
how the hell was the guy running with a mask?
I took it in case someone says, but I'm not gonna wear a mask when I run. Get out of here, man. No way.
The guy is absolutely insane. We got a bit of backlash. Well, not backlash, but the last mukbang. The last mukbang, we put out a clip yesterday on TikTok, and it's still going. And I was still reading the comments just before we started this podcast. The comments are going crazy.
But people got into fights in the comments. It's
people are going into. So basically, bit of a recap. If you haven't watched the mukbang, well, you probably have. If you watch my mukbang, then you probably watch my podcast. I probably gathered that. Yeah. But hey, if you haven't seen the mukbang, there was a question a guy asked. He's like, "Would you rather be Aussie but be able to eat Lebo food, or be Lebo but not be able to eat Lebo food but able to eat everything else?" And I'm like, bro, that's a no-brainer. I'll be a Lebo and not be able to eat Lebo food. I don't give a fuck. I want my pizza. I want my burgers. I want this. This guy's like, fuck no. He wants to eat lubiudas.
No. First of all, like, obviously there's some foods, Lebanese foods that aren't. I don't really like much.
I don't want to start the debate again. That's not why I bring it up, because we can go on forever.
But there was a good point someone said we have manouche, which is kind of equivalent to pizza.
But come on, bro. What about pepperoni? That's not Lebanese. What
about meat and cheese?
What about peri-peri chicken?
Meat and cheese.
What about peri-peri chicken? All right, meat and cheese is good.
Meat and
cheese is fucking good.
Meat and cheese or peri-peri chicken?
That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. Look, fuck, that's tough. But hey, the thing is, a guy also messaged me. People have been messaging me on Instagram and like, putting their 2 cents into the debate. And this guy's like, look, I agree with Mahmoud. He agrees with me basically that, he prefers other food because there's so much variety. He's like, he'll take sushi over any food. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take sushi over lubiudas. I'll take sushi over wada anib. And then he's like, but hang on, barbecues. In terms of barbecues,
yeah, but then
Lebanese barbecues is the best barbecue,
exactly.
and I agree with that.
You can go both ways. You can say food that's not Lebo food, that is better than everything, or you can go Lebo food is like, I take that over everything.
Yeah, but then again, I would say, all right, if it's just the barbecues, then I can live with that. I can live with the fact that I won't be able to have Lebanese barbecue ever again, but I can have pizza, I can have burgers, I can have pasta, I can have Thai food, I can have sushi.
Wait, so you'll take not having Lebanese barbecue ever again?
Yeah, if I'm allowed to eat all the other stuff, yeah, why not? Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Really?
I'll be able to eat lamb chops.
Man.
I'll be able to eat lamb chops.
Look, I like to mix it up. There's food that's not Lebanese that I love. Don't get me wrong, but
no, but that's not.
You have to mix it up.
That's not the thing. But that's not the thing. That's not the problem here. This wasn't why I brought it up. I don't want to start the debate again. The thing is, I have my parents on social media, right? And I know this could be debatable. A lot of people don't have their parents on social media. I don't get why. I have my parents on everything. They can see my Instagram. Because I've got nothing to hide, bro. If I'm putting it out to the world, why wouldn't I put it out to my parents? Like my parents know who I am as a person. They trust who I am, and whatever the fuck I put out, I put out. And mum and dad love doing this thing where they love reading the comments. They sit there and they're like boomers, right? So boomers, what they do is they take every comment to heart. They literally look at every comment.
Sitting there like, oh no.
And dad's like, what the fuck does this guy mean? He's like, reply to him. I'm like, Dad, just leave him alone. Don't worry, man. Call us. It doesn't matter. This guy's calling me a flog. Who gives a shit? It's life.
To be fair, it's like
but they want attention. That's the thing. They want that reaction. You don't want to give them that reaction.
That's what I'm saying. But
the boomers don't think that. They think that you just want to. You have to put it on them.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Dad wasn't reading the comments. It was Mum that was reading the comments. She started reading those comments of the people that was on that video of me and him debating Lebanese food and that. And then this guy's like, he dared to speak about Mum's cooking, even though my mum's cooking is the best cooking, and everyone says their mum's.
If you come not anywhere near my mum's cooking and say anything other than it's beautiful,
I'm telling you,
my
mum's cooking.
We're throwing hands.
The thing is, the problem is, it's not my mum's cooking. Don't take it that way. It's not that my mum's cooking's bad. My mum can make any. The good thing about my mum is she can make any type of food. It doesn't stick to Lebanese food. She makes Indian food. She makes Thai food. She can make pizza. She can make pasta. She can make anything. So that's not the problem here, because she. It's not like she forces us to have Lebanese food. Yeah. The guy's like, well, then your mum's Lebanese food must be bland. Or he goes, your mum's Lebanese food must not be good. I can't remember the exact comment.
Nah, man.
And mum looked at that and she went off. She's like, look, now everyone's going to think my cooking's not nice.
No, that's not. Yeah.
Why did you put that out there? No. And then this guy's a suck up. He knew that mum would see that, and he started saying Lebanese food was good. He thought ahead.
I thought ahead.
A little mummy's boy over here.
No, but I'm living proof that the reason I love Lebanese food is because my mum cooks it. I know. Bro, that's the reason I love Lebanese food. I'm not being a suck up right now, but it's 100%. It's true.
I know, that's the thing. But the thing is, mum got cut, and I'm like, Mum, look, relax, don't worry. There's one comment, and she's like, hello, hi, fakru. They're gonna think that I don't know how to cook. I'm like, Mum, relax, don't worry, just relax, it's fine. One comment is not gonna kill. It's not gonna make people think that like you don't know how to cook. I just want to put it out there. My mum knows how to cook. She makes the best food.
The way you were saying, I've
showed her food before.
I can see how they think. The way you were saying is like Lebanese food, bro.
It's just because of my personal choice. It's not it's got nothing to do with my mum's cooking.
I'll have every other food other than Lebanese food.
No, because to be fair, I also mentioned the Lebanese food that no one really likes. Like I mentioned Shanglishi, bro. Who the fuck out there?
You mentioned Lebanese. I can right now say food that's not Lebanese that's not nice. Asians probably have that as well. That they probably have food that they don't like, or Indians as well, or Pakistanis.
Let's
or
not get into this debate because we already talked about it on the mukbang. But yeah, just letting you guys know that my mum can cook, all right? Because she actually got a bit hurt. She got cut, and I just want to put it out there. She knows how to cook, so don't come for my mum, all right? It's me. It's my personal choices. I said what I said. That's it.
I want to move. I want to move on to like talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
Where the YouTube scene in Australia. Let's get into that a bit. So I don't know if you count us as YouTubers yet, or YouTubers. You should.
Look, what
are we technically? I don't know.
No, because people still call me TikToker. Like they see me on the street. That's when you know. Like when people see me on the street. Except the other day, shout out to I forgot his name.
Oh wow.
Rabia, yeah, the guy that was on the scooter. When you remember when me and you were walking, and the guy that was on the scooter, he saw us and shout out Rabia. He's like, oh, I love the podcast, bro. And I think that was one of the first people. Was he the first, or there was?
No, other people have said it before. But
other people have said it before. Yeah. But when he said that, it made me feel happy because it's like the podcast and stuff that I do. This stuff that I do is the most enjoyable thing and the most reward I get. So I'm like, it felt good when he's like, I love the podcast, bro. Keep it up. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So the thing is, people don't do that. When they see me in public, it's always, oh, TikTok, hey, TikToker, TikTok, oh, TikTok. My name's Mahmoud, by the way. It's not TikTok. But but that's the thing, Doc. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever be YouTubers until people actually see us and say YouTubers. Well, it's not going to say YouTube.
I don't like the term TikTokers. Like it's... Personally,
it's alright.
It depends on what you prefer. But
you know, you can't forget your roots as well. Like I started the foundation on TikTok.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%. But
so you can't forget where you started.
But you want to be called a YouTuber. Let's
100%. I want people to say YouTuber because I feel like YouTuber. Nothing against TikTokers because I'm a fucking TikToker myself. Nothing against TikTokers, but like I feel like it's more respectable to be a YouTuber.
It's not only that, we put more time and effort into YouTube as well. We barely
more monetizable.
You barely put effort into TikTok.
No.
The only time I put effort is when I'm putting the clips.
I gotta say, I thought TikTok would die out. I thought TikTok would be like a Vine where it would die. No, I don't see that. I definitely don't see that, especially lately because lockdown is actually helping it. But it's helping it in a shit way because it's becoming toxic.
It is.
And YouTube, guys, come to YouTube, bro. You're not going to see any mashakil here.
If you're sick of
you're not going to sit here and see mashakil here. We're actually going to talk about...
Come on, I'm not going to lie, I'm sick of it. I'm not calling anyone out, but...
Well, 100% you're calling the one person that says it out. Yisra, you're not going to...
I'm nothing against her. If she loves doing it,
I know.
If it's your thing, it's your thing, 100%. But
I think she's changed it up now, but...
Not really,
Thanks down, brother.
Not really. Like, she's still doing the same thing. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, personally...
It's just toxic. But
personally,
it is what it is.
That's not the type of content I'll go out of my way to watch.
Yeah, I know.
But it depends.
I get it.
It depends on your preference.
But
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube in Australia is pretty shit, I must say.
Yeah,
in terms of like...
The YouTube in Australia is not like America. And it's not... Like in America, you have so many creators. Like you got up-and-coming creators. You got like big creators.
Right
in the UK, you got so many creators.
Yeah, like...
But here, you got like... It's like when you think of a YouTuber, for example, you think Superorg, right? Nothing against Superorg. I've already said it before. Superorg is a pioneer. He's one of the OGs of Australian YouTube. But when does it get to a point where it's like that content doesn't really work anymore? You know what I mean? Like it could work for some people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Superorg's content's bad. It's still pretty. He hasn't changed much, right? He hasn't changed much, but that's probably the problem. I don't know how many people are still happy and entertained by just watching stereotypes, right? It's my content, right? A lot of it is my content. A lot of my content is based on stereotypes. But the reason why, if you've noticed lately, I'm doing a mukbang.
We're trying to get away from that.
We're trying to get away from that because we want to change the YouTube scene in Australia. There's no There's no like big vloggers here. There's no like challenges that people do here. There's no like. There probably is, but they're not really known.
There is, but there's no like Logan Paul level or like KSI level. In the UK, you have the KSI, the Sidemen, all those True Geordie, all those big guys
and stuff. And
US, you have Logan Paul, David Dobrik.
You got like Eric. Eric's another. I like Eric. He's another YouTube creator. And Fidela, what's his name? Fidea or something. Yeah. I've been watching that guy's YouTube videos lately, and that guy does like he's like MrBeast basically. MrBeast, you know how he does extreme stuff. This guy, Fidea, he goes. For example, I'm gonna run a half mile barefoot in the snow. Fucking the guy got frostbite on his feet for YouTube. Yeah, he has a video where he said MrBeast's name 1 million times.
Yeah, he puts a lot of effort.
He puts a lot of effort, and I like that shit. Like I like that sort of content. I don't mind it.
I don't mind.
I don't mind challenges.
We don't have that kind of content. We do kind of, but you can probably count them with your fingers. Like
100%.
Like you have obviously you have your Shaq. You have like
Mo Duwari and stuff.
Mo Duwari, you know, Batsman, that guy, the comedian. He's more of a comedian.
Garn. What about Garn?
Garn, he's
Garn's
funny.
good, but he does more skits as well.
You have those guys, but there's no like. I want more. Like more of
we need to get a lot of people moving from TikTok onto the YouTube platform. I know if anyone's a TikToker that's watching this, guys, come to the other side, man. It's so much better here. It's so much. You know how they say the grass is greener on the other side? It's fucking greener.
Look,
it's greener.
I'm gonna be straight up. It's a lot more effort, and it's nothing.
But the
like
reward,
TikTok.
I'm telling you, the reward and the feeling after you put out your masterpiece.
It's nothing like TikTok's like, you know, you can get lucky. You can film a 10-second TikTok.
It gets 1 million views in a day, but then you're going to get over it in a day. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to watch it again. Like, my viral videos on TikTok, I never watch them again because I'm like, all right, that's it. It's not a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's funny, but like, it's YouTube content for me has always been the OG. It's always been my preferred content.
Yeah. Look, that's
we need to push more collabs, I think. But obviously, lockdown right now.
I've got so many collabs in mind.
We need a collab,
lockdown.
like all YouTubers in Australia.
Lockdown, I've got so many collabs in mind, and I've spoken to a few people, and I don't want to give away too much because I want to keep it a surprise. But we've lined up a few collabs, and I'm telling you, they are going to be freaking massive. These collabs are going to go off. Like, we're going to collab with so many people, inshallah, and we're going to, and guests as well, guests for the podcast, man. There's so many people that I've lined up. Like, man,
I feel like that's the only way we'll build up this YouTube community in Australia. We all collab, all YouTubers. I
want to get so many people from the area on the podcast.
Don't be afraid to collab.
Like, if you're watching this podcast and you want to be on the podcast, just message me on Instagram, man. Don't be shy. Like, I'm lining up. Like, I've got a schedule ready. I've lined up so many people, and I just want to keep going. Like, I just want to keep putting people on this.
Obviously, right now, lockdown's stuff.
Lockdown's obviously bullshit, but eventually when it's over.
I'm open to a Zoom. I don't know.
Yeah, so a bit more on a serious topic. I wanna shift more towards a serious topic, and it's actually been bothering me for the past few days to a week, and I haven't really spoken on it much in terms of my TikTok, in terms of my Instagram, because I wanted to leave it all for the podcast, because I'm able here to talk in a more free form, and I'm able to, like, you know, put out more here. Like, it feels right to do it on the podcast, and the reason why I left it on the podcast is because it's a major issue. And I've been wanting to talk about this, not just because of the incident that happened, but also in general. I've spoken about our generation many times, you know, in terms of like vaping, in terms of, but although these things seem very small, and although they seem like they're not a major issue, you know, and like all this social media bullshit and all the difference between when we were like 12 and 13 and 14 to the people that are 12 and 13 and 14 now, but that's the root of the issue, right? There's a big issue here, and the issue is not just vaping. It's not only social media. It's not only name calling. It's not only fighting. It's not only dramas. It's now become murder. It's now become the worst of the worst. It's become like, what are they, like the worst? We were talking about it the other day. Someone asked what could be a fuck up, and we said you can't fuck up because failures are just learning experiences. But a real fuck up is when you fuck up your life, and that's when you can commit murder. When you commit murder, something. Taking the life of a person, which is the worst thing you could possibly do, and we saw it happen. We saw it happen in Sydney, in our city, basically.
I feel like
I never thought this would ever happen, and I never thought a person so young can be taken from his family. Over what?
It's sad.
It's extremely sad, and my thoughts obviously go out to the kid's family. They go out to the kid's family, but to the kids that actually committed, and what's worse is this crime. this crime of murder was committed by kids younger than the kid that got murdered. Which blows my mind.
They were like 15, 16.
Bro, I swear to God, I looked and I saw a 16-year-old kid murdered in Doonside. And I'm like, who killed him? And I thought, I looked and there was 13-year-olds. 13, 15-year-olds, man.
Bro.
What the fuck was I doing when I was 13, 15?
Bro,
I was
13, 13, like, if you ask me about, like, killing and death and that, I barely knew anything about that. It's like, you don't think of that stuff. Taking someone's life and, like, it's crazy. It's a crazy time. It's ridiculous.
We talked about it before and we said times are just going to get worse. And this lockdown is not helping, obviously, but times are going to get worse. As bad as it sounds right now, it's only going to get worse, all right? And the thing is, what is it over? It's over a 4-digit number. A 4-digit number that the government owns, right? The government owns this 4-digit number. You don't rep a postcode, you rep an ego. That's what it is. It's your ego. It's your ego there. You're not... Imagine parents, right? Imagine a parents raising their child from when they were young, taking them through school, providing for them until they get to the age of 16, only for them to be taken over a 4-digit number. Just think of that. Think of that in your mind right now. A kid's life was taken over a 4-digit number, which, by the way, you don't own. It's your ego. Wallah, it's your ego there. It's all an ego.
The same kids and people are saying, oh, this is my town. I'll do this for my town. They won't even help their mother. They won't even do...
They won't help your mother. They don't... That's what I'm saying.
Look what you've done to your mother, your parents, right now. They're sitting there ashamed, bro. Like, if you really cared that much about something as like an area, like you'd care more about your blood or like your parents and things. What do they think?
It's weird because the same kids that say, I ripped this postcode are the same ones that say, fuck the government. But if you're saying fuck the government, you're ripping their postcode. They own that postcode, Habib. You don't own that postcode. All right? Whether you're 2999 or 2000 or 255, whatever the fuck you are, it's a number in the end of the day. We're all going to end up in the same place. So lower your ego, humble yourself. We're going to end up 6 feet under. Our final postcode is all going to be the same. We're going to be 6 feet under in the ground. That's our final postcode. So stop ripping a postcode. Stop ripping your ego. Put your shoulders down. And honestly, just think. Use this. Use this before you do something. And you know what? You know what shits me? A lot of people are saying, oh, you know what? The kids that done it, fuck them. You know, oh, inshallah they die. Inshallah they do this. Inshallah an eye for an eye. But that's where our problem is, right? That's as fucked as it sounds. I know what the other kids done was so bad, and as fucked as it sounds, and they took that poor 16-year-old boy's life from his family.
But they videoed it apparently as well.
They videoed it. I never saw the video because I honestly I gotta say I don't have the heart for it.
I didn't see either.
I don't have the heart for it. I don't like seeing that shit.
Yeah, I heard that they videoed it as well, which is crazy to me. Why are so many things getting videoed? Like
that just shows you the heartlessness. But what I was saying was the people that are saying what they done was so bad. All right, what the kids done was so bad, and nevertheless they fucked up. But the ones that are saying they should rot in hell or fuck them, you know, like kill them, do this and that, an eye for an eye, that's wrong. Because what I see, there was four, I think it was 4 teenagers that committed the crime, right? What I see is evil reciprocates evil, right? So if you're brought up with this evil, you're gonna just, you know, you're gonna project that evil. So what we need to do is find the root cause of that evil, okay? So you don't just sit there and say, fuck them, put them in life in prison, put them in life. Of course they deserve to be punished. But at the same time, in the end of the day, everyone has a mind, all right? Everyone has a soul, everyone has a life. You need to look at these kids and say, what was the cause of their problems? And look at preventing the situation in future. Instead of all these people saying, fuck these kids, you know, I hope they die, I hope this, and wishing so many bad things upon them, even though what they did was fucked up. But we need to use our brains and think of a solution. We need to actually get these kids and understand 100%. What the motive was, first of all. And I heard it was over, some people say it was over a postcode, some people say it was over fake AirPods. Whatever the motive was, that's not the only problem. The other problem is what caused them to do this. They always say it's like a troubled childhood. It's always a troubled childhood.
Yeah,
it's a troubled environment.
I reckon, can I say something? What I feel like this was building up over time. So lately, within the last couple of years, I've noticed like the music scene within Sydney, you have drill, which I'm not against, the drill songs.
I was actually thinking about this today.
But what kind of feeds into that is people that age, they listen to that. And if you're like, you know, saying, I stabbed this guy in a song, I stabbed this guy, it's kind of like slowly feeding into these kids' minds and like, oh, I'm from this area. This is my area. I'm going to be doing
That's
this.
100%.
I'm not against music like that. I'm not against like, you know,
I'm not
artistry. I'm
yeah,
not against
100%.
that.
Artists. That's a very good point. Artists, think of your audience. All right. A lot of your audience, okay, is a younger generation, because I know a lot of this younger generation love to listen to this drill music and love to listen to this rap music. I got nothing against it. I'm not sitting here. I'm not bagging out any drill rapper, so don't come for me. But what I'm saying is, think of your audience and think of what you're projecting into the minds of these young kids. Okay. For example, I'll give an example. Changes by Tupac. Okay. I always bring up Tupac because I feel like not only was he the greatest rapper of all time, he had the impact he had was greater than his rap career. You got to think of being a great impact on these young kids, okay? Tupac wrote the song Changes when he was 21. How old are you now? You're 21. Okay? Imagine writing a song like Changes when you were 21. Talking about, you know, how there will never be a black president. Talking about how there's war and peace, there's never peace in the Middle East. Talking about how we have to change ourselves before we change others. How we have to change ourselves before we change the world. You know, why is there poverty? Why is there talking about all these issues, these worldwide issues, at the age of 21, if I listen to anything like that, I'm like, it makes you think. It makes you think of a broader, you know, solution to the world's problems. But if you're sitting there and listening to drill music or rap music that projects, brother, if you do this to me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna come back 1, 2, 3. Blah, blah, blah. I'm an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye. Always an eye for an eye.
I'm shivved him. I shivved him again. Like
I shivved him again. I killed him. I stomped on him. I this and that. Stomp on your ops. This. Brother, that's only going to feed. It's only going to feed the ego of these young kids, and it's only going to cause issues like this, like what we saw in Doonside. So what I want to see as a change, even though I don't know who's going to hear this, but if people can just share this around, just so people can hear this. I want people to hear this. I want people to share this podcast around so people can hear this. If you guys just change the way you're projecting your rap music and change the way you're projecting all this stuff into positive outcomes, maybe this can spark something within the younger generation 100%. And spark something within these kids to use their brain more and to not actually be more physical and more violent, because violence is never the answer. Yeah, violence is never the answer.
It's all about what you want to leave, right? After you die, like as an artist, what do you want to leave to the people that are listening to, you know, your music or your artistry, like in terms of like, you know, violence in songs and things like that, and like drill. I don't know. I feel like it kind of feeds into that recently, more recently,
because it's becoming more popular recently.
And I'm guilty of like listening to.
Oh no, 100%. That's the thing.
It sounds good and it appeals to the ears, but you know, to what extent?
If you actually sit, sometimes you don't listen to the lyrics properly.
Yeah.
These kids probably do. Like sometimes you zone out, but then if you actually sit there and listen to the lyrics properly of these drill music and these rap songs, you start hearing the notion and you start hearing the agenda, right? It's all about killing. It's all about blood. It's all about bloodshed. It's all about eye for an eye. It's all about ego. It's all about... That's honestly, it's just... What it goes straight into the minds of these young kids, and they think that's the norm. They think that's... Who knows? These kids might have been listening to drill music. They might have been...
Bro.
They might have been... what's the word for it? I always forget that word. They might
manifesting.
No, not manifest. They might have been...
Because that's the word you always get stuck on.
The word I always forget. No, but they might have been... fueled or something, something along those lines, fueled or motivated. They might have been motivated by some drill music or some rap music where they have to kill someone from a different postcode or kill someone for taking something from them. And that's what's scary. That's what's honestly scary.
And that's only now. Like, imagine these drill things only started recently within the last couple of years. At the start, it was like, okay, but then it's starting to get worse. Like, there's more violence in songs, is what I'm trying to say. Within
I'm not saying. Yeah, that's the thing. There's more violence. That's a good point. We're not saying that drill music shouldn't exist. We're not saying that rap music shouldn't exist. We're not saying that do what you want to do. But what we're saying is people should be more aware of their audience. That's all I'm trying to say. Just be more aware of your audience and who you're motivating and who is listening to your songs and what they might do and what the outcome might be based on them listening to your music. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's pretty much my take on this whole, situation.
I feel like that, back to our last episode where we were talking about Sydney and its toxicity, I feel like that's kind of feeding into that toxicity as well. It's kind of giving it more.
It's not helping.
It's making Sydney more toxic, which... Anyway, on a more...
to end it off, this is my final 2 cents to end it off.
Yeah.
I just want to say the root of evil is evil, okay? And evil will reciprocate evil, and usually the ones that are doing the hurting are the ones hurt themselves. So in saying that, I'm not justifying what the kid's done, and I'm not saying that, I'm defending them, but all I'm saying is these kids need to be understood, okay? As bad as it sounds, my heart goes out to the 16-year-old kid and his family, and it's a fucking tragedy. But these kids that committed the crime, I want to understand what caused this evil, okay? That's what we need to get to. We need to get the root of the evil. What caused the evil? Once we understand that, then we can
what would their sentencing be?
I don't know. Whatever it is, they deserve to be punished. Whatever it is, they deserve to be punished.
Go prison. I don't know, honestly. But yeah, man. What do you want to move on to?
I don't know. That's just that was a tough topic. But
we had to talk about that. We had to.
I needed to address it. I needed to address it because it's actually been on my mind. Like when I don't know, for the past few days, it's just been on my mind, and I just thought I wanted to give my take on it. And yeah, man, I think hold the people closest to you dear, close to you, and because obviously you never know what happens, and yeah, just stay safe, man. Just stay safe.
Ask about each other as well,
ask about people's mental health. Stay safe.
On another note, Olympics just finished.
Yeah. Olympics.
I must say,
I didn't really. I watched a few of it, but I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't fully into it. I wasn't
I watched
full time. Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of forced to watch it because there was nothing else.
Well, yeah, we're in lockdown, so what else are you gonna watch?
But yeah, Australia. I must say, I'm pretty impressed with Australia. They done pretty well. They put a pretty good effort. Like the women in the swimming, and
I think they got the most gold medals in a day or something, which is pretty good. That's pretty good.
A solid effort. Raise your heads high.
I talked about this with Dad the other day. You don't really see Lebanese people or Arabs.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to, because I can't talk for myself. I'm not saying because I can't talk. I'm not an athlete. I never claimed to be an athlete.
I never claimed to.
I never claimed to be a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I never claimed to be a fighter, and I'm not. I don't have a great physique in any way, shape, or form. But what we did realize about the Olympics is there's not many Arabs. There's not many Lebos, and it got me thinking we're not very athletic. There is. For example, the bearded athlete. There's you could count them on one hand the amount of athletes there is in the area. There's not many proper athletes out there that savages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that actually go after it.
Your Usain Bolt, your Muhammad Ali.
There's not. I feel because we're not very into sports and stuff. Maybe it's because of some of our parents. We're not very encouraged to do sports. We're not encouraged to go out there and do athletics, for example.
Yeah, I must say
you never see for example, tennis. I've never seen a Lebo playing tennis.
Neither have I.
You know what I mean?
I don't, even an Arab. I don't think I've seen an Arab playing tennis.
Why don't we play tennis? Why don't we swimming? Well, our dad would probably just grab us and chuck us in the water and say, "Yalla, swim."
Yeah.
Or they'll always be worried. They was oh, watch out, don't. Watch out, dude, don't get him in the deep end.
I feel like
we're too cold.
I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but a lot of, with our Lebanese culture, we're kind of not very encouraging with...
We're not encouraging in terms of athletics and in terms of sports. I feel like our culture needs to be more encouraging of that. And I feel we need to put a more stress and a more because it's always study. Do this, do that, go to uni. Or go do this in uni, become a doctor, engineer, this and that. But it's never go run 100 meters in 10 seconds. Never. Have your parents ever told you, as an Arab kid, if you're watching this, have your parents ever told you, how fast can you run a kilometer? Have they ever asked you that? I guarantee you none of their parents have ever asked them, how fast can you run a kilometer?
There probably are some parents that are...
But you probably hardly ever. I haven't seen it. I feel I haven't seen it.
Our generations should be the ones to change that
narrative. Yeah, when we get kids. It should be... We need to change that. We need to sit there and actually encourage our kids to actually do sports, to actually go out there and run 5 kilometers in 30 minutes or 5 kilometers in 25 minutes or whatever it is. Trying to encourage them to be athletic because it's good to represent our culture in a good way. I know a lot of the times we're represented in the wrong way. We're always represented like drugs. We're always like, it's funny, right? It's always funny. Like, I've noticed that about my humor, right? Like, when I used to do a lot of videos about Lebos in the past, it's always like, oh, brother, bags at Meritons. Oh, brother, you know, like, oh, pass this argili, pass this shisha, pass this smoke, pass this that. But it's never about, like, we're never put in the spotlight about good things. We're never put in the spotlight about, like, education in general, or, like, sports, or, like, you know, things that are, like, something that you hold your head up high with. And I feel like that needs to change with our generation. We need to actually sit there and like, oh, bro, you know, like, go do athletics, go do sports, go try and discover something, fucking invent shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Bro, I saw some extreme sports in the Olympics. Some sports are like extreme. Like,
yeah.
The fact that someone can run for like, 20 kilometers. There's some sports that are crazy.
There's some sports, bro.
And
I'm
just
thirsty.
the fact
I'm
of
thirsty.
like, me too.
And
just the fact of like training for 4 years.
Yeah.
For one event. It's pretty intense.
Do you want to go get water? Is this weird? Like on the podcast, just go get water.
Do we have water bottles?
Just go get sparkling water or something.
I'll
just talk to him by myself. This is so weird, by the way. This has never happened. I'm just gonna talk to myself. But anyway, yeah. What I was saying about the Olympics, all right. Like David Goggins, for example. Go search up this guy called David Goggins. This guy is an unbelievable athlete. Guys, sorry. I know it's weird. I'm talking by myself. Moses is gone, but my throat is literally dry. I need to drink water. But yeah, someone like David Goggins, fucking savage. That guy, he wasn't even that, like, he was like 300 pounds, which is like, I don't know, about 150 kilos or 140 kilos or something. And then he lost so much weight and he became an ultra marathon runner. Not by his physicality or not by anything. It was nothing but like, it was only mental. And it was like sheer, like, you know, just all this mental fortitude that he built up over time to go and compete in this like ultra marathon. And that's what I'm saying. Like there's these hardly ever there's these people that come from our generation and our Lebanese like community that can actually do that. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like there needs to be more of a stress on like trying to be athletes, trying to do something with our lives instead of just sitting there and always arguing and always like complaining about shit. I've noticed that a lot. We love to complain about shit. We love to bring out negative shit. Why don't we change that about ourselves? Why don't we actually sit there and be like, oh, you know what? Hang on. Why don't we just, you know, project all this energy into something positive? Because it'll make such a difference. It'll make such a difference. And I'm telling you, things are only getting worse in this fucking modern society and this modern day life that we're living in now, which hardly anyone knows what the fuck's going on. Like with all this anti-vax, this vaccine, this COVID, this bullshit and all this other stuff. Oh, here he comes with the drinks. What'd you get? Oh, he got sparkling. I'll get sparkling.
I'll go lemon
This
lime.
is sparkling water, lemon and
Bro,
lime.
I love lemon lime bitters. I love it.
I just got to drink.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I was talking about like there's no David Goggins in like the Lebanese community.
Nah, that's true actually. There's no like extreme sportsmen. Like,
Oh, that's so good.
there's no like extreme sportsmen.
Zero sugar, by the way.
Zero sugar as well on the lemon lime bitters.
Oh, yeah. I actually, you know what? I always drink lemon lime bitters, and I'm like, it's
not
always got
sponsored.
a lot of sugar. But this one's got zero sugar. Not sponsored, but you know, Schweppes.
Sponsor us.
Sweps. I guess Sweps.
Sweps. But yeah.
Yeah, talking about that. You know the.
Were you talking about David Goggins? What were you
Yeah, I was saying like David. There's no like Lebos in the Olympics, and there's no like Lebo like proper athletes. You know what I mean? Because we're always like busy on like Adgili, like vapes and like we need to change. I was talking in general. Like we complain a lot. Our negativity needs to change into positivity.
Yeah, I feel like we're stressing on this point a lot, but yeah, 100%. I agree. You want to move on to? We were talking about this off the podcast. Wearing a mask in the car.
Oh yeah, bro.
You had a bit of a rant.
Look, at the moment, I don't understand the rules full on because they always say wear a mask when you leave the house. But what about the people that wear a mask in the car by themselves? Who are you trying to catch COVID from, Habib? Yourself? Can you give yourself
I don't know
COVID?
why.
What?
I don't know why that
Yeah.
infuriates me.
It's like saying I need a social distance from yourself, so you got to stand 1.5 meters away from yourself. That's literally like the same equivalent of wearing a mask
There's
in
no
the car by
law that
yourself.
says to wear the mask in the car. So why are people?
There's nothing more that screams I'm a dickhead than wearing a mask by yourself in the car. Not sorry,
please
sorry,
don't.
but not sorry.
Don't unsubscribe if you're one of those, please.
Sorry, but not sorry. Why the fuck would you wear a mask by yourself in the car? Like, what are you trying to hide against? I don't get it.
Bro, speaking of that, I saw a couple today when I was going to work. People wearing masks in the car, and it's just normal. It's like, I don't want to.
I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It's too much. But yeah, moving on. Something came out in my work recently where, because I work in the construction game, I've said it before. I'm a site engineer, and for me, because I'm in the LGAs, I'm in one of the affected LGAs. They're like, there's this new rule that came out where I have to get double vaccinated in order to return to work. So if I get double vaccinated right now, I can return to work tomorrow. I can go back on site. I got nothing against the vaccine, right? But when they say this is a free country, and when they say everything's up to you and up to your choice, that doesn't really replicate what the government is doing at the moment. Because if we had free choice, right? If they were pro-choice and we had freedom of choice, then I could say I don't want to get vaccinated, but I can return to work. But now they've taken the right away from you and said, look, you need to be double vaccinated in order to go back to work. Fine by me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist in any way, shape, or form. But I don't believe Bill Gates is out to get me. But
Bill Gates, every
they say you're not going to be forced, but eventually you're going to indirectly.
I feel like, can I just say something? I feel like every Arab family WhatsApp group got sent that Bill Gates video at least once of him predicting, talking about COVID. What was he?
I don't know. He was like predicting COVID or something.
Yeah,
he's like the new world war is not going to be in the form of soldiers. It's going to be in the form of a virus. And then everyone's like, oh, COVID.
Every family WhatsApp group got sent that. Like, you can't tell me otherwise.
And then so I don't think Bill Gates is out to get me. I don't think I'm going to turn into a magnet. But I'll take the vaccine, all right? But at the same time, for those of you that are against the vaccine, mate, sooner or later, you're going to have to take it. You're going to have to take it. And whether you're a conspiracy theorist and whether you like it or not, bro, they're going to force you indirectly. Like, as much as it's shit, because I'm pro-choice. I believe if you want to take the vaccine, take it. If you don't want to take it, don't fucking take it. But eventually, you're not going to be able to probably leave your house unless you have a vaccine passport.
But I feel like it's inevitable, right? Like, they're gonna indirectly force you. They're going to say, oh, you can't travel without taking the vaccine. They're not going to force you, but they're going to indirectly force you to the point where you're like, fuck, I want to ride the wave. I need to take this vaccine. And if you don't take the vaccine, you're going to be seen as like an outcast. And
anyway, yeah. So that's the point. Like you're gonna look like you're a criminal, basically. You're gonna look like a criminal if you haven't taken the vaccine.
And I heard on the radio, like, are people going to be like, for example, we're having a house party, but to RSVP. You have to be vaccinated.
You gotta have a vaccine.
I heard that on the radio.
You know what I'm thinking as well.
That's a good point.
You know how you have to get a certificate. You probably because they probably call it like a vaccine passport. So you're gonna eventually have to get like a certificate that says you're double vaccinated. Would there be dodgy Lebo doctors? What did I say, Lebo? See how I attribute everything dodgy.
He feeds into that stereotype.
It's so bad. Like I feed into my own stereotype, and I'm like, I do it like unintentionally, and it's so bad. I shouldn't. Let's just say there's a dodgy doctor. Would there be dodgy doctors that literally go out there and like, okay, you're vaccinated, but you're not really vaccinated, and they give you this passport, and then you're allowed to travel? I'm not hinting any ideas. Don't come for me. Don't come for me, New South Wales government.
Fake COVID passport.
Bro, you never know. It could be like getting a fake medical certificate.
But listen,
if you pay a doctor the right amount of money, I mean, maybe like.
Bro, if you pay anyone the right amount of money,
fucked.
they'll do.
It's pretty fucked.
A lot of people
imagine that. Imagine they can fake vaccine passports. That'll be so weird.
Like, I mean, they probably could.
They probably could. I reckon they could.
But yeah, I feel like that's feeding into the age of like digital. It's going to be like a digital thing where, like, how, for example, QR scan. It'll vaccine. Be like.
Oh no! You just scan your magnet.
It's a magnet. But anyway,
travel.
What were you going to say?
I really want to travel.
Bro, who doesn't want to travel?
Really.
I feel like you've seen.
Really want to travel.
For the past couple of weeks, you've told me about 1 million times that you want to get out of Sydney.
Bro, you know where I want to go?
Where?
I always change it up. Before, like 2 weeks ago, I had this phase where I want to go Turkey. Sorry, that's a sparkling water. I wanted to go Turkey, but now I've changed because a lot of people actually tell me Italy's nice. Everyone that goes to Italy says it's fucking beautiful.
Bro, no, you know
I want to go Italy. I want to go
I've heard
Venice.
it's nice.
I want to just go there. I want to go like
What'd you say?
Venice.
No,
What?
it is Venice. I was gonna say Venus.
Oh, I thought you fucking. Oh, what the? No, Venice. Yeah, Venice.
No, it is.
And like, I don't know, bro. Everyone that goes to Italy says it's so nice. Like, I love Europe in general. Like, I want to go Greece. I want to go Italy. But yeah, probably not till 2025.
I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of want to go Japan. Not just because I saw on the Olympics. It's pretty nice. I saw
a shark gun.
Japan's pretty nice. I wouldn't mind going Japan. I've heard nothing but good things about Japan.
I really want to go Japan as well.
Comment if you've been to Italy or Japan.
Shout out Shamik. Yeah, Shamik told me he went to Japan. I think he went to Japan right before COVID hit. One of my mates, and he goes Japan is really nice, and he hasn't shut it up about it ever since. So anyone that goes to Japan never shuts up about it, because I met another guy at work that went to Japan and he doesn't shut up about it either. So I feel like Japan is like a really nice country. I don't know. I want to go there.
All right. So getting into the last 5 minutes, you want to get into the sports segment?
I just wanted to talk about one more thing before we get into the sports segment.
Okay.
I've noticed something recently, and it's got to do with social media. Look, I fucking talk so much about social media, but this
yeah, you have at least one. Bro, you want to stand up?
I don't know. I feel like I need to stretch my legs a bit. Sorry, I need to stretch my legs.
Whenever this guy sits for a long time,
I don't know.
I don't know why his shorts become undies.
I don't know.
It's just me. Like
I feel like my ears are hot as well.
He'll get up and his shorts will become undies. I don't know why. You want to just do
shorts, but like,
you want to do the rest of the podcast standing?
No, you know what? Let's try it. Nah, but that'd be so weird.
Nah, but yeah.
Imagine doing a podcast like this.
Stuff that.
Nah, but anyway, sorry, I just needed to. Why am I so restless this podcast?
Bro, me too.
I needed to stretch my legs.
Maybe it's because I just went on a run, but
I don't
feel
know.
so tired.
That's the thing. I never go on a run right before the podcast because I got so much energy then.
Yeah, I went for a run.
I already got energy in general. Imagine me on a run. But yeah. So what I wanted to talk about was this Instagram thing that I've been fucking seeing recently. Well, actually, not recently, for a while now, and I've never addressed it. Right? You add a girl, okay? You follow a girl, she follows you back. Nothing happens.
Standard.
All good. Standard. It's standard, right? Then all of a sudden, you jump on your Instagram feed, and then you look at a story, and the story is green. Why do you ask it's green? Because you probably never get that. Close friends.
Why?
Okay. Why? Nah, close friends. Girls that put you in close friends, and you've never spoken to them. Like, what the are you shooting your shot? I don't understand. Are you shooting your shot? Girls, if you're watching this, and I don't think any girls watch the podcast. Maybe they do. But if you're watching this and you put me in your close friends, what are you expecting? Are they like expecting more of a chance of a reply? Are they expecting us to slide in? Are they expecting... Because you're like, all right, you look at the story, right? You're like, oh, fuck, close friends. Oh, what could it be? You're like, what the fuck have they posted? You open the story. It's a picture of a dog. It's a picture of a dog.
I feel like it's like...
It's a picture of a coffee.
That close friend is like, you're exclusive now. You're
yeah, but exclusive for a fucking dog.
Your family now. Vin Diesel. Shout out Vin Diesel.
Yeah, but you're exclusive to see a fucking dog or a coffee.
What type of dog was it though?
Oh, it was a Labrador. I don't know, something like that.
Was it a Staffy dog?
It was a Staffy. It was a dirty Staffy. No,
was it a Staffy?
But like, I was like, all right, what? You never talk to him, and you like, they never reply to any of your stories. You never talk to him for probably like 6 months, right? And then all of a sudden you're on the close friends list, and you're like, wow, are we close friends, brother? I don't even know who the fuck you are.
They're shooting their shot.
I guess that's their way of shooting their shot. Is it their way of shooting their shot? Girls, is that your way of shooting your shot? Just admit it. Maybe I'm delayed. I don't know. I feel like
what if they just want to be close friends? There's no close friends between a guy and a girl. I feel like
that can never happen.
Nah, yeah.
You know what? I saw something recently.
A guy and girl can be friends?
No. I don't think that's right. And you probably look at me and like, oh my God, why are you so misogynistic or whatever they call it? Why are you being a misogynist? And I'm like, no, I'm not being a misogynist. I don't think a guy and girl can ever be friends without a motive. Because I'm a guy, right? We're guys. We know what guys want. We know what guys are after. And if usually they're getting close to you, it's because they like you, all right? They want to get to know you. And
give them a chance, bro.
Give them a chance, all right? I don't have friends that are girls. I'm going to admit it. I don't have friends that are girls.
Yeah, same.
Why? Because I feel like if I'm talking to a girl, I'm talking to her in the sole reason of getting to know her, hopefully leading to something else. Eventually marriage, or maybe, I don't know. And then like, it depends on how it goes. But like, I feel like in terms of friends, you can't, especially if you're in a relationship, right? I saw this thing the other day that said, wait, let me get it right. It said, He said, when was the last time your mum said she's going to see her guy best friend?
That's what I was going to say.
And that makes so much sense. Never, because a guy and girl can never be best friends.
That's what I was saying. To the ones that are saying, no, they can be friends. Well, can you be friends when you're married? Go and get a friend.
You can't. I don't believe they can be friends because then there's always like an outcome. You can never just be friends. It's not.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Like I'm a guy, right? And if I see a girl and she has a guy friend, I'll automatically assume that guy wants her. I know it probably not the case. It's probably not the case. It's probably like they're just basically friends. But as a guy, you just can't help but think that because you're a guy and you'll know like it's hard. Like it's not about a trusting as well. It's not about a trusting. You can say, oh, why don't you trust me? It's not about a trusting. It's just the whole. We trust you, but we don't trust the guy. That's the thing. It's different. It's different.
Would you comment? Would you allow your partner to have a friend?
Comment below. I'm curious.
All right, let's.
So yeah, no guy, no guy best friends for my future wife. If you're listening, I've been addressing my future wife for the past 2 podcasts. Man, like
he's hinting. But someone said, why don't you have a sports segment every podcast? So
all right, let's have a sports segment.
We'll have a sports segment.
So ladies, you can tune out if there was even any ladies watching this.
Come on, there's probably ladies that like sports.
Well, I did see recently on the stats that 14% of our viewers are female.
Bro, who are we to
Not
say?
bad.
Bro, in the Olympics, the women's smashed the men's. They done way better than the men's.
Yeah, but you think girls in the area care about sports? Because let's face it, that's probably our audience. Girls in the area.
What about Ronaldo?
They don't give a fuck about Ronaldo.
There's always that one girl. I know Ronaldo.
Oh, there's always that one girl that acts like... you know what? I want to address this as well. There's always that one girl that acts like she's into soccer. I don't know why. I feel like there's always that one girl that acts like she's into soccer.
Why did you bring that up? No.
Because bro, is there genuinely girls out there that genuinely like soccer, or are they just trying to act like they like soccer?
I knew a girl like this, and she would say sometimes the dumbest stuff.
Bro,
I
know so many girls I can name drop now.
I wouldn't point it out. Like, she'd say when Neymar was in PSG, she'll say, like, for example, Neymar, I love Barcelona.
Or then they say, you'll never stand alone. Shut the fuck up. You know nothing about soccer. What the fuck?
There's girls that do know about soccer, but
there is girls that know about soccer, right? I will not try to take that away from any girls, but
there's girls that act like they know about soccer, but they don't.
I feel like there's a few that actually act like they know about soccer, but they actually don't, and they're just trying to like get attention. Like, pick me, you know?
Oh my God, Ronaldo.
Oh my God, did you see that Messi's leaving Barcelona?
I wanted to get into that,
brother. You don't even know. She's like, oh, Messi, what's his last name?
Oh man, I don't mean to get it to a sad spot, but yeah, Messi's leaving Barcelona.
That actually shocked me.
Bro, I've known Messi to be in Barcelona ever since I knew about soccer.
Bro, Messi and Barcelona are intertwined. They're inseparable.
He's the most
they're in an entanglement.
Yeah, like it's shout out Will Smith.
We haven't heard that in a while. Entanglement,
bro. But that's crazy, because I've always known Messi to be in Barcelona, so it's kind of crazy now. But people were like always feeding into that. You know, there's that you have the Ronaldo boat and you have the Messi boat, and the ones in the Ronaldo boat.
I'm personally, I love Ronaldo. Like he was one of my favorite players growing up. But I just think appreciate both of them because they're both goats.
Yeah, I
and
like
appreciate
both.
them while they're still here because, mate, they're not going to be around for any longer.
Yeah.
Mate, you already saw Messi left Barcelona, and that's a bad sign. That means he's getting close to his retirement.
They got a few years in them. I think they're like 33, 34.
Yeah. Mate, how long can they play? Like 40?
But I think because people were saying, why doesn't Messi test himself? You know, Ronaldo's been in two different leagues. Two different leagues? No, three different leagues.
You're like that girl that
actually... No, he's been three different leagues. Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Juventus. Yeah, three different leagues. So they're saying, why isn't Messi, you know... But he's testing himself. He's going to PSG.
He's got... Which will be a very good test for him.
PSG, what a team, though.
What a fucking team.
Mbappe, Neymar, Messi. Bro, what a team. But, you know what's crazy?
You reckon they're better than Real Madrid OG team?
Bro, I think
when they had Gareth Bale and they had
Bro, they have such a mad team now. Like, every position has best player in that position. Like, literally.
Bro, it's going to be hard to beat PSG.
You know what's crazy? I saw an article or something where the PSG Instagram went from like 20 mil, and then when it started, there was talks about Messi going to PSG. It went to like 40 mil, the Instagram.
No way. You can see the amount of like hype behind Messi.
Is that kind of like a shade at Barcelona fans, the plastic fans?
Kind of is.
Because they're like,
oh, Messi. It's like LeBron James, right? When he left the Cavs and went to the Lakers, there was a lot of people that actually started supporting the Lakers because they weren't Cavs supporters. They were just LeBron James bandwagons. And that's literally what some of these Messi bandwagons are going to do. They're gonna start supporting PSG. Fuck Barcelona. We don't know who Barcelona is anymore.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see him because he's one of the most loyal players ever to Barcelona.
Nah, he is.
It's like you can't imagine Messi not in a Barcelona jersey.
Literally.
Unless it's Argentina. But nothing else.
It's crazy.
Like only Messi in a Barcelona jersey, and that's the only thing I'll allow.
It's sad, bro. He
Imagine
cried.
him in a PSG
It was kind of
jersey.
sad. He was crying in
so
like
sad.
the press conference.
I watched that. I'm like, fuck. Imagine like you've been playing for a team your whole life.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like,
and
crazy.
people are saying like, oh, he's making money. Why is he crying? But obviously he's moving
not about that. It's
moving
it's
to
the
a better.
memories.
He's moving to a better opportunity, no doubt. But
The memories.
it's it's kind of sad, even though he's moving to a better opportunity because he's been in that place for a while.
It is sad. It is sad. And I just wish him the best because I'm a big Ronaldo fan, but I don't hate Messi. I respect him as a player, and I think he's one of the greatest
We
players.
have to appreciate both of them.
He is one of the greatest players ever, man. I actually, just before we came onto the podcast, I was on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I watched like a quick video. You know those quick montages that they do, like the with the Russian remix in the background and that. Yeah, no. And then they were like, oh, Messi was like he had like a bad disease when he was a kid where it affected his like growth hormone.
Oh.
And people were telling him like, oh, you're too small for soccer. You're too small. Don't play soccer. And it's showing you just don't give up, man. Just don't give up.
100%.
He was the smallest player ever on the field. And they told him, you're too small to play soccer.
Yeah.
Turned out to be one of the greatest GOATs of all time.
Yeah, because he was lacking in his like header department.
Did I just say greatest GOATs of all time?
Because he was lacking in his like header department and like jumping and stuff, he was like
He made up for it in dribbling.
Crazy dribbler, one of the best dribblers of all time.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to UFC as well, or MMA,
talk about
whatever,
UFC.
however you want to call it. So we saw Derek Lewis.
Look, I'm a fan of Derek
Remember,
Lewis.
you told me Derek Lewis is a top level contender.
I've said it on the podcast
contender.
before. I like Derek Lewis. Okay, I love Derek Lewis. I think I like him more of his personality, more because of like the way he just doesn't give a fuck, and just the way he acts, and he's a funny bloke. But to be honest, man, the fight against Cyril Gane, I don't know how much you guys know about UFC, but Derek Lewis, the fight he had on Sunday against Cyril Gane, just proved how much of a fucking lazy bloke. He's so lazy. He's so lazy, man. Just get him on the ground and he's gone. Didn't even have to.
Yeah, no,
Just go past 2 rounds with Derek Lewis and he'll flop. He'll just fall.
I'm not throwing shade at Derek Lewis. He's a good fighter, but bro, levels above. Cyril Gane was like levels above.
Yeah.
Like he showed how outclassed he was in that fight.
It's just a hype train, okay?
Yeah.
The hype train's gone now, and I think Derek Lewis is pretty much packed up for now. I'm not going to write him off.
Yeah, I can't see him contending with like.
I just can't see him
Ngannou.
contending with like the big dogs. So I'm excited for Cyril Gane though. I'm excited for Cyril Gane to come up against Francis Ngannou. That's going to be.
Are you pronouncing it right? Cyril Gane or Cyril Gane? I don't know.
Cyril Gane.
Is it Cyril Gane?
Fucking call it Gane. The guy I talk to about UFC at work calls him Cyril Gaines. I'm just going to call him Cyril Gane. Shout out to the guy. I don't even know if he watches the podcast.
Yeah. In other news, Conor McGregor's tweet to Khabib. Did you see that? Khabib about his dad.
Yeah. We didn't address it on last week's podcast because obviously we didn't have a podcast.
But
that was pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, if you didn't know, so Khabib tweeted, "Good always defeats evil," basically alluding to like Poirier beat McGregor and Poirier's good, McGregor's evil.
Yeah.
And then McGregor went and tweeted, he's like, "COVID is good and Dad is evil," obviously referring to Khabib's dad, who passed away from COVID.
Yeah, which is like when you start making fun of the deceased, people that are not even here with us anymore. When you start making fun of the deceased, that truly shows the type of character you are. And I've said I like Conor McGregor as a fighter, and you know, I've liked him growing up, but just him as a person, total douchebag, total fucking douchebag.
Like I feel like a couple episodes, and we had a clip where like we're saying you have to respect McGregor and like how much.
You know what? But after
that I don't respect.
After that, I don't respect. I do not
trash
respect
talk.
that.
There's certain levels of like selling a fight which you can respect, but
there's boundaries. There's boundaries.
Yeah, there's trash talk, but there's not fighting. What is that trash talk for?
And he always does it to Khabib. Like even he never learnt his lesson. Like before fighting Khabib, if you saw the press conferences, fucking the amount of times we've watched the press conferences is crazy.
The amount of times I've watched the fight,
bro, you've watched it. You know every fucking move.
I know every round. Like
I reckon we can do a skit
McGregor
on
defends
YouTube.
the takedown good.
We can do a skit on YouTube of you acting like Khabib, me acting like McGregor, and you just doing the same shit as him.
I watched.
But yeah, so what was I saying? I forgot my point.
What were you gonna say? I'm gonna pull something up while you're thinking of that.
I forgot my point.
Were you gonna say so? What were you gonna say?
McGregor, Khabib. Yeah, so we saw the trash talk before the McGregor-Khabib fight. He was talking about his family, right? He was talking about his religion. He was talking about his dad. He broke bus, which basically he threw the dolly at the bus.
Yeah.
And Khabib said he's going to change his face, and he did. He changed his face. He absolutely tortured him for 3 or 4 rounds? 3 or 4 rounds, whatever it was.
Goosebumps. When I see...
Let's talk now.
Bro, when I see that...
Let's talk now.
Goosebumps. I always get goosebumps.
The thing is, after all that, this guy still didn't learn his lesson. He's still calling out Khabib. And not only that, not only what he talked about his dad, which is pretty fucked up, but also when Stephen A. Smith brought up Khabib because Nurmagomedov lost. He was talking to McGregor about Nurmagomedov beat him, and he's like, oh well, where is he now? He's became fat and he fucking shit his jocks. And that's what he's talking about.
But he beat you. That's what matters.
He beat you, but how dare you? How can you actually talk about him when he fucking mauled you for 4 rounds?
All that matters to you, if someone's beating you, everything else doesn't matter.
Everything goes out the window.
Who they beat
Everything
before,
goes out the window.
The fact that they beat you, to you, that's all that should matter.
That's literally it. Anyway, let's move on to boxing.
Boxing. So obviously Kambosos. I don't know if he's fighting this way. I don't know if they're changing the date.
Bro, they keep changing. We're never going to see this fight.
Bro, it's so frustrating.
Kambosos is...
They were going to do it in Australia, but obviously that's out of the window.
That's fucked, man.
But yeah, in the Olympics, there was an Aussie boxer.
Oh, yeah, the guy with the mullet?
Yeah,
he's really good. I like him.
He had a good effort. He got bronze, and people were saying he's like an Eshe and stuff. I'll pull him up.
Pull him up. He actually, the guy represents Australian culture in every way. In every single way. Just picture a young Aussie kid, and this guy is literally what you picture. And we're bringing him up now. This guy is actually, he's got a mullet, and he's like, you can tell he's like, yeah, fucking oath, mate. Fair income.
Yeah, he's a classic.
He's a fucking classic, and he done really well in the Olympics. I got to say, this guy, he actually impressed me.
Yeah, he did.
He got bronze, right?
He got bronze. He had a good effort.
Better than nothing, man.
But yeah. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Ooh.
I am looking forward to that. We've spoke a lot about Jake Paul in the past, and personally, look, I know there's probably a lot of people that hate Jake Paul. Regardless of how you view Jake Paul in terms of his personality, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
In terms of his personality, in terms of who he is as a person, in terms of that, that doesn't bother me. I'm talking now about his boxing. Purely his boxing. From what I've seen so far, he fought. Who did he fight first? Run me through the timeline. Who did he fight first?
So he fought, the first ever fight he had was Deji.
Okay? He beat Deji.
Beat Deji fair and square.
All right, we're not going to say that's an amazing win because we've seen how Deji fights. And no offense to Deji, I like Deji, but he's not made for the boxing ring.
Just out of the window. Then he beat...
Anderson Gibb. Gibb was next. Again, Gibb at that time, Gibb's improved because of his fight in the thing.
He learned from
But at that time, Gibb was not... He wasn't the best fighter, okay? He was fucking ducking... He was 30 centimeters off the canvas, ducking that low.
Yeah.
And then he just got knocked out.
And then he beat
Nate Robinson.
Knocked him out cold.
Knocked him out cold, by the way. Fucking broke the internet. Who was basically a bum. He's a basketball player, man. Yeah. I'm not going to call him a bum because he's an athlete. He's a basketball player.
It's like stay in your lane, if you know what I mean.
Then he fought Ben Askren.
That is the one that impressed me most.
That was the one that impressed me. That was the one that I sat back and I'm like, okay, hang on a second. This is now proving that Jake Paul can actually box. It's not proving that he's a great boxer. I'm not saying he's a great boxer, but it's proving that he can box. And he can get in there with guys at the elite level. Yeah. Because, all right, Ben Askren, I know what you guys are thinking. He's not a striker.
Yeah, you can say, oh, he's not a striker. But he's a fighter.
He's a fighter.
If you look at people like Robbie Lawler, you have Robbie Lawler.
But then the people argue and say that Ben Askren is not a striker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler's a striker.
Yeah, but Robbie Lawler couldn't knock him out.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. So you're saying
in that sense.
Okay, yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler couldn't knock him out.
Yeah, you have actual fighters that couldn't knock
So
Ben
we're not
Askren
taking away from the fact that Ben Askren's a shit striker. Yes, he is a shit striker. He's a shit striker. He can't strike. Fucking You know what I
But
mean?
you can't escape the fact that Jake Paul has knockout power.
He's got knockout power. He knocked him out cold. He knocked him out cold.
What I'll say is he's got a decent short hand.
And he's got an overhand.
Yeah.
He's got a good overhand.
But if you've seen that fight against Ben Askren kind of caught him at the start of the fight with an overhand, which was like, it was a dead overhand. It was like the shittest overhand.
And he kind of...
But Tyron Woodley's specialty is that overhand.
Yes.
So what I'm predicting is that Tyron Woodley's going to win.
You think Tyron Woodley's going to win?
Maybe about round 2, round 3. But if he can get past Woodley...
That's what I'm saying right now. I agree with you on that one. I think Tyron Woodley will beat him.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to say which round because I'm not sure. It might even go decision. Like I don't know. I don't know yet. By the way, we haven't seen Jake Paul in a long fight.
Yeah.
All his fights have been short.
He hasn't gone past.
So we don't know how he holds.
Second round, I think.
Yeah, we don't know how he holds in terms of a big dog fight, like where it's like just slugging, slugfest. You know, he could be fucking shit. He could have shit cardio. I've never seen his cardio.
We don't know how hard he's gonna dig
I've
deep.
never seen his cardio.
Yeah, we don't know how much he's gonna dig deep in those later rounds.
So yeah, I think Woodley gets it. But if he beats Woodley, mark my words, if he beats Woodley, then he's serious.
I wanted to say what I wanted to say was Jake Paul versus KSI, but I don't know if we're ever going to get that.
I think if he beats Woodley, there's no way he's going to fight KSI. Because if he beats Woodley, then
like, right now
he's going to be levels above KSI.
Right now, he'll beat KSI, no doubt about it.
Oh, he will.
I'm saying if KSI gets a tune-up fight...
If KSI trains, though, KSI needs to get a tune-up fight and he's got to go back to training. Because
like
now he's been involved with his music. Obviously,
he needs at least 1 to 2 tune-up fights before he fights Jake Paul.
Yeah. And because Jake Paul's been only focusing on fighting. Fight camp. So Jake Paul's been in the spirit for like 2-3 years now.
But if people will say like Tyron Woodley's last 4 fights, he lost. But if you look at the people he lost against, like Usman, Covington,
dogs,
Vicente Luque, they're actually like good fighters. Like
dogs, bro. Yeah.
But Woodley's striking is levels above Ben Askren's, I feel like. And Woodley will get it.
100%.
That's what I think.
So yeah, I agree with you, Woodley. But if Jake Paul wins, then I don't even know what he's going to do next.
Big. If Jake Paul wins, that's
the thing is, I feel like the internet is waiting for Jake Paul to lose.
Yeah.
He has got so much stakes.
Bro, if you get enough people watching you because they want to see you lose,
then you're a marketing genius.
You're a marketing genius. I'm not going to lie.
In this day and age, it's not about people love you or hate you. It's about pay-per-views, Habibi.
You might hate him, but you're paying him.
Pay-per-views, baby.
You're paying him with your hate.
Yeah, that's it. You're paying him with your hate. You're paying
you're feeding his kids with your hate.
You're paying to watch him get knocked out, but you're paying him.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much... have you got anything else? I haven't got anything else, but that was an interesting podcast. It was pretty long.
Let us know
because we took the week off, but let us know. Your thoughts on the podcast. If you want to put your 2 cents in, let us know. I always love when people comment on the podcast because if you guys want to actually contribute, and if you thought that we said something wrong, or if you actually want to agree with us on something or disagree with us on something, bro, put it in the comment. I seriously want to know if you guys agree or not, because sometimes I feel like I'm putting shit out there without actually knowing what people think about it. So guys, let us know your reactions. Let us know what you think. Comment down below what you want to see more of, what you want to see us talk about, what you want to see us address. If you want to see us do more skits and vlogs, by the way, I said 3 videos this week, so inshallah this Sunday there's going to be another video. But until then, stay tuned. Then
stay safe.
Stay safe.
Take care of each other.
Exercise. Subscribe to the Lebbie.
Exercise. Have fun.
Exercise. Yeah, try and do 10,000 steps. Get on the challenge with me. Try and do at least 10,000 steps a day.
I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get on the lose weight thing.
But thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing. Obviously, it's the best podcast in the area. Keep sharing it to your cousins, your family, your dogs.
And still. Still.
But this was enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Why is this always awkward at the end? I feel like I'm saying bye to my relatives.
You make it awkward. Like, it's hard to say bye if you know what I mean.
No.
Even though they're not, people that are watching us are not here.
It's all good. Anyway, so take it easy and peace.
Did you put a thumbs down?
Peace.